Hello, in this video I shall be discussing 5 topics. The first topic is Digital Ocean app. So there is a new application brought forward in this recent past, that is Digital Ocean application. This is brought by Ministry of Earth Sciences and this is a web-based app. So this has got a particular website of its own and it is a digital platform that contains all the ocean data managing things. So all the ocean data is stored over there in order to manage them all at one place, and this is also available to the users. So the particular institute that brought forward this application is INCOIS. So the full form of INCOIS is Indian National Center for Ocean Information Services. INCOIS is totally under Ministry of Earth Sciences, Government of India. So this particular organization under the Ministry of Earth Sciences brought forward Digital Ocean application recently. And this will be for 2 uses. One is it will hold all the advanced geospatial technology adaptations in the recent developments. It will incorporate all the new research, new technology that is developed regarding geospatial technology, and it will be there with the management that will help the management of ocean data. So it will incorporate all of that, and it will be also in other way be useful to the users. So in giving them good knowledge about geospatial technology, ocean information and ocean data and all. So this is about the new app by the Ministry of Earth Sciences, that is Digital Ocean application. The next topic is Kala Battu. So the Kala Battu is a kind of craft. We shall see about that. This is the name of a metallic thread. So a thread is made out of metal and the name of it is Kala Battu. This is important for making embroidery and that forms zari. So this is basically from Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. So original craft work of Bhopal. So the Bhopal in Madhya Pradesh is a very important production center for zari. So the craft name that is made out of Kala Battu is Zari Zardozi craft. So Zari Zardozi craft belongs to Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. So this is a very important heritage part of Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. So the government of Madhya Pradesh made this into an exhibition center. The name of this exhibition is Rag Bhopali exhibition. So Rag Bhopali exhibition is held in order to just showcase this Zari Zardozi craft of Bhopal. So the process in which Kala Battu is made is first of all the metal ingots will be melted and then metal bars will be produced. The bars are called pasa. They will be beaten and metal wires are produced, and by flattening these wires and by twisting these wires with any thread of silk or cotton, this process is called badla. This Kala Battu is produced. The other name for Kala Battu is kasab. So this huge process is very famous in Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. So this also shows the culture and tradition and heritage background of Bhopal people. So the craft is very important. The name of it is Zari Zardozi craft by Kala Battu in Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. The next topic is Gavi. So recently, due to COVID-19, in the wake of this particular thing, there is a collaboration of some alliance between countries that formed Gavi. So the full form of Gavi is Global Alliance for Vaccines and Immunization. So this is a particular very important thing in the wake of the present pandemic. So this is recently in news because our Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan is nominated as one of the board members of Gavi. So he is going to represent 2 areas. One is SEARO, that is Southeast Asia Regional Office, and the next one is VPRO, Western Pacific Regional Office. So Dr. Harshvardhan is going to represent or he is going to show or represent these 2 particular regions in the Global Alliance for Vaccines and Immunization. So the tenure that is given for him presently is he's incorporated from January 1st, 2021 to he's going to stay till December 31st, 2023 as the board member of Gavi. This is a significant thing on part of this Gavi choosing an Indian to be a nominated board member of Gavi. The next topic is Sahayak NG. So Sahayak NG is the name of an air-dropped container that belongs to Indian Navy. So this is the first indigenously designed and indigenously developed air-dropped container So this is dropped from an aircraft called IL-38SD. So the particular aircraft that dropped this a container is IL-38SD. So this belongs to Indian Navy. This is recently tested by DRDO, Defense Research and Development Organization, in the shores of Goa. So this is in use as the first indigenously developed air-dropped carrier. The next significant thing about this is going to give logistics capability development to Indian Navy. That means it is going to give all the good container or ship spare parts and all good things to the Indian Navy, and this is also going to give some engineering stores. So providing engineering stores is also its work. That is, when a ship is placed deployed far from the coastal line, this Sahayak will go over there and produce the good stores. The Sahayak will be deployed over there and it will provide all the stores, all the spare parts, or all the mechanic things that these ships need. So the ships need not come to the coast for any work, for any mechanical engineering work they need. So this is the particular help that Sahayak NG does to the ships. So it is helpful for ships that are deployed very far from the coast, that is more than 2000 kilometers from the coast. The next thing is Shulpaneshwar Wildlife Sanctuary. Shulpaneshwar Wildlife Sanctuary is in the state of Gujarat. So this belongs to Narmada district in Gujarat, and this is a very important place that is located in a very important zone that is in between western Satpura range, and it is also south to Narmada river. So Satpura mountain ranges are important and Narmada river is also a very important thing. So it is placed in this very environmentally ecologically important place of western Satpura range and south to Narmada river. So this wildlife sanctuary also has common border with Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra. So this is present in Gujarat. It has borders with Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra also. So this is a completely protected area, and recently this is declared or this is notified as eco-sensitive zone. So eco-sensitive zones are those zones which are surrounding these important, environmentally important, ecologically fragile areas like rivers and mountains. So eco-sensitive zone notification or this tagging or classification is given to Shulpaneshwar Wildlife Sanctuary. So there are around 121 villages that are surrounding Shulpaneshwar Wildlife Sanctuary, and these villages have mostly tribal groups. So now this is under a huge heading in news that these tribal groups or these 121 villages are urging the government to withdraw the notification that classifying it as eco-sensitive zone. So when it is declared eco-sensitive zone, these villages have to vacate or they'll be having restrictions. So they are not happy with the notification. So the tribal groups have raised protest to remove this tag of eco-sensitive zones around their villages that are surrounding Shulpaneshwar Wildlife Sanctuary. So as this is in news, I've told this about the district, the state where it is located, the district it is located in, and the common borders it has with other states. So these are all the 5 topics for today, and thank you.